God's chosen ones. Warning, heaven is watching you now. Don't miss this moment. Golden light flickers through an open window. Dust floats in slow motion. A soft wind moves the curtain as we hear a sacred voice. Chosen one, do you feel it? That strange pressure on your chest? That invisible gaze on your life? It's not paranoia, it's prophecy. Heaven is watching you right now, not to punish you, but to position you, not to judge you, but to crown you. Even the angels are silent, waiting to see your next move, because your obedience in this moment will shift everything. If your soul feels this, if your spirit already knows, type 737. This message is for you, God's chosen ones. Heaven is watching your every move. Get ready for the shift. A lone woman stares out the window at dawn, coffee untouched, her journal open but blank. The world is still, her soul isn't. You ever feel like someone's watching you, but not in a way that makes you afraid, in a way that makes you feel seen, not by people, not by eyes you can see, but by something deeper, something holy. Lately, you've been catching glances at the clock. Your heart starts racing for no reason. Strangers look at you like they know something you don't. That's not random, that's heaven watching. Tears in the shower, laying awake at 3 a.m. worship music, with hands trembling. God saw all of it. The way you kept praying when nothing changed. The way you gave when your own heart felt empty. The way you stood when your knees were breaking. You passed tests no one else even knew you were taking. And now heaven has stepped closer. The angels are watching. Not to see if you'll fall, but to witness your rise. A soft wind picks up. A page turns in her Bible without touch. A dove perches nearby. This is not just another hard season. This is a divine examination. And the next move you make will unlock a legacy. Camera slowly pushes in on her tear-streaked but glowing face. She smiles softly with knowing, if you're still here, if your spirit hasn't clicked away, it's because you already know this message is yours. This moment is divine. This is the shift. Type 777. If heaven has been watching you too, God's chosen ones, heaven is watching your every move. Get ready for the shift. Stay with me. You're not just seen, you were chosen. Chapter 1. The eyes of heaven are upon you. A small, quiet room. The blinds are half drawn. There's a candle burning. Outside the wind hums. It sounds like breath. You are alone, but not unseen. The chosen one sits on the floor, back against the wall, staring at the ceiling like it's a sky she doesn't understand. Chosen one. Do you realize who's been watching you? Not the world, not your friends, not even your enemies. Heaven. The throne room has eyes on your life, and every breath you take is being recorded in light. Moments of secret generosity, silent tears, walking away from what would have broken someone else. Heaven saw when you forgave them, when you gave money you couldn't afford to give, when you worshipped with a broken voice, when you stayed when everyone else left. And because you didn't break, you've been marked. A gold mark begins to glow faintly over the heart, invisible to the world, visible only to the divine. This isn't religion. This is revelation. There's a reason the warfare increased, a reason your dreams feel more vivid, a reason people stare at you and don't know why. You've become visible in the spirit realm. You've become tracked by heaven. Not everyone gets watched by heaven, but you made them pay attention. The Bible says in Psalm 34:15, the eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and his ears are attentive to their cry. You've cried, not just from pain, but from alignment. You didn't just suffer, you worshipped in it. And now the angels are gathering. A woman asleep overhead, angelic forms gather above her bed, whispering assignments. Divine ink writes her name in glowing scrolls. You're not being tested anymore, you're being prepared. Heaven isn't watching to see if you'll fail. They're watching because you're about to be launched. Close your eyes and picture heaven watching your next step. What would you do differently? If you knew every choice was divine record, you're not just walking into a new season, you're walking under divine surveillance and divine favor. Everything is being aligned, the right people, the right opportunities, the exact timing. Not because you asked, but because you endured. Chosen one. This isn't about being good. This is about being chosen. If heaven is watching, would you keep hiding your light, or would you finally rise like you were born? To heaven's eyes are on you, not with judgment, but with joy, and they're waiting to see what you do next. Chapter 2. Why you've been invisible until now. Quiet memories flood back unanswered messages, rooms where no one noticed you, birthdays forgotten. But something shifts. The silence begins to glow. A woman walks through a crowd. No one makes eye contact. She smiles. No one smiles back. Her shoulders drop. Her heart sighs quietly. You ever feel invisible, like you could disappear, and no one would even notice? You showed up. You gave everything, and still they passed over you. But what if I told you? That invisibility wasn't rejection, it was protection. God didn't hide you because you were unworthy. He hid you because you were holy. They couldn't see you because they weren't meant to. Had they seen you too soon, they would have mishandled you, used your gifts, exploited your glow. So God wrapped you in spiritual camouflage. You weren't unseen, you were shielded. You were the best one for the job, the most loyal in the relationship, the most anointed in the room, but somehow you were overlooked. Again, that wasn't failure, it was divine delay. You weren't waiting to be seen, you were being preserved. Just like David, anointed in private, sent back to the field. Not because he wasn't ready, but because the throne wasn't ready for him. The Lord does not look at the things people look at. The Lord looks at the heart. And God saw yours, pure, chosen, consecrated. They didn't reject you. They couldn't recognize you, because heaven was still writing your name in light. Pause, breathe. Every time you were forgotten, heaven was marking you for remembrance. You were not invisible. You were encoded. Spiritual code. Divine encryption. Only those sent by heaven can now decode your light. Your name was hidden in plain sight like treasure in a field. And only now is the world being given permission to see you. Her eyes look into the mirror. For the first time, she recognizes the royalty staring back. You thought your quiet seasons were punishment, but they were preparation for prophetic unveiling. What if your rejection wasn't personal? It was prophetic. What if the silence was a signal that heaven was shielding your soul? You weren't forgotten. You were hidden. And now, heaven is unveiling what it once protected. Chapter 3. Your silence was sacred training. A kitchen at midnight. One light on. You're writing in your journal prayers no one will ever read. There's no applause, no audience, just you and God. You're in your car, parked crying into your sleeve, but no one knows. See, you wipe your face and still show up to serve, smile, love. Chosen one. Do you know what kind of strength it takes to stay faithful when no one's clapping? You prayed. Nothing moved. You gave. No one noticed. You showed up every time, even when you were breaking. The silence wasn't absence. It was an audience of one, training you in trust. God wasn't ignoring you. He was instructing you. Heaven had you in sacred training. You were learning how to worship without a worship team, give without a return, obey without a spotlight. Because those who will carry glory must first pass through the garden of silence. Even Jesus had to face the wilderness alone. No applause, just wild beasts' temptation and angels watching. Your silence was your wilderness, but you didn't quit, and heaven recorded every moment of obedience. Anyone can be loud in the light, but can you be loyal in the dark? You were. That's why heaven trusts you now. The silence was a refiner's fire. It wasn't empty, it was holy. Back to the journal. Your hand trembles as you write the words, "I still believe." Heaven leans closer. You wrote it for yourself, but heaven read it as a covenant. Take a moment. Think of one silent prayer you whispered. Now picture heaven moving on it today. The silence made you stable. The waiting made you wise. The stillness made you sensitive. And now, heaven says you're ready. Would you have prayed that deeply? If things had gone your way sooner, would you have heard God's whisper? If life had stayed loud, you weren't being punished. You were being prepared. The silence was the sound of heaven sculpting a soul it could trust. Chapter 4. What your suffering really meant. Darkness, rain on a window. Your hands clutch an old photo. There is no music playing, just the sound of your own breathing and the memory of what you lost. You sit on the edge of your bed. There's a box of unopened bills, a voicemail from someone who left. Your phone lights up, but it's not who you hoped. Chosen one, your suffering wasn't random, it was sacred. That heartbreak, it wasn't meant to destroy you, it was designed to develop you. You didn't go through all that to stay broken, you went through it to become unbreakable. The pain had purpose. Even if no one else saw it, they saw you cry, they saw you struggle, but they didn't see what heaven saw. They didn't see the transformation. Every betrayal became a breaking point, but that breaking it made more room for God's glory. Romans 8:8. The sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared to the glory which shall be revealed in us. That glory, it's in you now, formed by every trial. You didn't suffer because you were weak. You suffered because you were strong enough to carry what others couldn't. Heaven watched you worship with tear-soaked cheeks. Heaven heard the prayers you whispered through clenched teeth. Heaven never left. You passed the test that had no audience. You walked through fire and didn't smell like smoke. Think of the hardest thing you survived. Now hear this. It didn't defeat you. It revealed you. Your scars are not shame. They are sacred proof that God was with you even when it hurt. You are not what happened to you. You are what rose out of it. The old you died in that pain. The new you, the crowned version, rose from the ashes. What if the pain you cursed is the exact pressure that created your anointing? Would you still see it as punishment or a prophecy in disguise? You didn't suffer for nothing. You suffered for someone. And now, you carry a light that only fire could create. Chapter 5. The angels are already moving late night. A candle flickers. The chosen one lies asleep, but the atmosphere is alive. A soft glow surrounds the room. Unseen forces begin to stir. Slow zoom toward a peaceful face in sleep. Her hands are folded over her chest. Then, the shift begins. Chosen one, the wait is over. The angels are already moving. You didn't see it. But while you cried, they were being commissioned. While you worshipped, they were being dispatched. While you surrendered, heaven sent help. Some answers don't come with thunder. They come with movement in the unseen. You've been standing longer than most could, and because you didn't bow to bitterness, heaven bowed to you. The angels have been watching. Now they are working, for he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. He commanded them, and now they're on their way. A slow-motion montage of people crossing your path, a phone call, a divine connection, a door creaking open. You thought it was coincidence, but that person who smiled at you, that opportunity that seemed random, heaven sent it. What used to feel stuck is already shifting. You just haven't seen it yet. The delays are breaking. The resistance is falling. The heaviness is lifting. Because heaven has deployed angels with your name on their scroll. Breathe in, breathe out. What if this is the moment the atmosphere changed? and your soul is the first to feel it. You don't have to chase anymore. You don't have to beg. The help you need is already here on spiritual assignment. They've gone before you, they're surrounding behind you, and they're standing beside you. A stranger opens a door, a financial email arrives, a diagnosis is reversed. Soft voice, this is not random, this is reinforcement. If the angels are already moving, would you walk into your next step like it's already answered? Would you speak like the promise is already fulfilled? You don't need to see wings to know they're flying. The shift has begun. The angels are already moving for you. Chapter 6. The glow you can't hide. A grocery store. A random parking lot. The chosen one walks by, someone turns and stares, not in judgment, but in wonder. You don't know why, but they see it. You reach for something on a store shelf. Someone's eyes catch you. They pause. Their gaze lingers. You smile politely, unsure why. But something shifted. Chosen one, you're glowing, and you can't hide it anymore. Not with makeup, not with humility, not with deflection. The glow isn't from what you wear. It's from what you survived. You don't look like what you've been through. You look like what God brought you out of. People see it, but they don't understand it. They'll say, you look different. There's something about you. I don't know why, but I feel peace around you. That's not charisma, that's glory. Matthew 5:14, you are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. You tried to dim it to fit in. You tried to shrink to be less intimidating. But your anointing is leaking through your smile, through your stillness, through your silence. You didn't ask for this glow. You earned it in fire. You healed. You obeyed in secret. You stayed when it would have been easier to quit. And now, you shine without trying. Take a moment. Think of a recent moment where someone paused when they saw you. That wasn't random. That was recognition. They didn't see you. They saw God through you. This glow isn't vanity. It's evidence of obedience, of healing, of spiritual resurrection. It's heaven's fingerprint on your face. A mirror. You look into it. You don't see makeup. You don't see flaws. You see light. You don't recognize the old version anymore. You don't need to prove your change. You are the proof. What if the thing people admire most about you is the very thing that almost destroyed you but didn't? You didn't glow up. You grew through, and now your glow is divine proof that you were chosen. Chapter 7. What heaven expects from you now. Early morning, the sun rises through the window. Your Bible lies open to a page that wasn't bookmarked. It feels like a quiet instruction, not from man, but from heaven. A notepad, the words now, what's scribbled on it. You stare out the window, the wind carrying that question to heaven, and an answer returns in silence. Chosen one, you've been seen, you've been tested. Now you're being trusted. This isn't the time to shrink back. This isn't the season to doubt yourself. You've been prepared, and heaven is expecting movement. What was once warfare is now a weapon in your hands. You're no longer the target, you're the territory. God didn't pour into you so you could sit still. He didn't rescue you from the storm just to sit in silence. Now that your light is visible, you're responsible for where it shines. Luke 12:48. To whom much is given, much will be required. Heaven expects you to walk in authority without arrogance, boldness without apology, humility without shrinking. You don't need another confirmation. You are the confirmation. Your story, your survival, your stillness in the storm is what someone else needs to see. You reach out and place your hand on someone's shoulder. They cry. You didn't even speak, but your presence did. Your presence is prophetic. Your obedience is a message. You're not just here to be blessed. You're here to become the blessing. Take a breath. Now ask, what if I'm the answer to someone's prayer? Because you are. Your healing is their hope. Your breakthrough is their blueprint. Heaven doesn't just expect results. Heaven expects faithfulness, even when no one claps. You've been entrusted with a voice, a calling, a mantle, and now that the glow is visible, the mission begins. If heaven is trusting you with influence, favor, and light, will you walk like someone who's been anointed, not appointed by man, but confirmed by God? You're no longer waiting for a green light. You are the green light. Heaven has spoken, now walk like it. Chapter 8. The resistance will increase, a new season begins. Opportunities open, doors swing wide, but suddenly, old faces return. Jealousy stirs, unexpected warfare rises. A bright morning turns gray. As the chosen one walks into their promise, whispers begin, shadows return, old wounds knock at the door. Chosen one, the glow attracted glory, but it also attracted resistance. This is not a sign of failure. This is the sign you've crossed over. New levels always wake up old devils. You're not under attack. You're under recognition. People who once ignored you now feel intimidated by your peace. Those who laughed at your struggle now whisper about your rise. Why? Because your light convicts what they never confronted in themselves. But hear this: don't dim to keep them comfortable. Don't shrink to make them feel safe. Isaiah 54:17. No weapon formed against you shall prosper, and you will refute every tongue that accuses you. Weapons may form, but they will fail. You are not responsible for their reactions. You are responsible for your response, and your response is steady, silent, sovereign. You were made for this. You were built in fire. Don't fear the friction, it's confirmation of your forward motion. This resistance, it's proof of your rank, proof of your elevation, and heaven is watching how you handle the noise. Breathe. You don't have to clap back. You don't have to explain. You're not who they remember, and that's exactly what's threatening them. You're not crazy, you're called. And the attack isn't personal, it's prophetic. You carry light, and light will always trigger what hides in the dark. But don't stop shining. You walk through a crowd, gossip fades, doubt dissolves. Your peace silences everything. You don't need to defend yourself. Your destiny will do it for you. If resistance increases, will you retreat, or will you rise? Will you argue, or will you ascend? They're not fighting you. They're fighting the evidence of God's glory on your life. Let them talk. You walk. Chapter 9. Your presence will shift rooms, an office, a prayer meeting, a casual gathering. The chosen one enters, and suddenly the atmosphere changes. No one knows why, but something divine just walked in. You open the door, laughter dims. People pause, not in fear, but in reverence. You didn't say a word, but the atmosphere heard your arrival. Chosen one, you no longer need to introduce yourself. Your presence speaks. You carry a weight, not of ego, but of glory. A room may be full of noise, but when you enter, the noise bows to something unseen. You are not just in the room, you shift the room. Because where you go, heaven follows. You've become a mobile altar, a walking sanctuary, a vessel that carries God's presence in stillness. Acts 5:15. People brought the sick into the streets so that Peter's shadow might fall on them. Even his shadow carried healing. You've entered that realm now, where what surrounds you begins to submit to what's inside you. It's not charisma, it's consecration. Your silence speaks. Your smile delivers peace. Your presence pulls pain to the surface and then heals it. You no longer strive to be seen. Now the room adjusts to your light. You've been entrusted with spiritual atmosphere, and heaven is watching what you do with it. Think of the last time someone said, "I feel better when you're here." That wasn't just kindness, that was confirmation. You are the oil. You are the scent of heaven on earth. You are the atmosphere shifter, and your presence is prophecy with skin on. You hug someone and they cry. You say one sentence and they break open. You walk in, and the entire dynamic changes. This is the weight of being chosen. What if you stopped trying to speak more and simply stood still, knowing your silence carries glory? You won't always know what to say, but your presence will say it for you. You don't have to shift to fit the room. You shift the room. Chapter 10, this is your crowning season. Stillness before sunrise. You stand alone, but not lonely. A quiet knowing settles over your soul. You've passed every unseen test, and now the crown is descending. You kneel on the floor, not in defeat, in surrender. And from heaven's realm, light begins to descend. Chosen one, you're not being tested anymore. You're being crowned. You didn't rush it. You didn't manipulate it. You didn't promote yourself. You waited. You stayed. You passed, and heaven saw it all. The crown doesn't come from people. It comes from proof. You've proven you can be trusted with favor. You can be faithful with silence. You can carry power and not lose your purity. And now heaven is placing what only you can wear on your head. 2 Timothy 4:8, there is laid up for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord will award me on that day. This is that day. Not in the afterlife, but right now. Your spirit knows it. Your soul feels it. You've entered your crowning season. You walk into a room not begging for recognition, not needing affirmation. The glory on your life speaks louder than applause ever could. No more hiding, no more apologizing, no more shrinking. This crown is invisible to most, but undeniable to those who walk with God. This is why you suffered. This is why you were delayed. This is why you felt buried, because royalty is refined before it is revealed. Take a breath. This is your coronation. Heaven doesn't need a stage. It needs obedience, and you gave it. You've crossed over, from pain to power, from trial to throne, from surviving to reigning. The chosen one lifts their head. The weight of the crown isn't heavy. It feels like home. No more rehearsing. This is your real beginning. You are royalty in the spirit. You are trusted by heaven. You are crowned. Now that you wear the crown, will you walk in rooms like God sent you there? Will you speak like heaven stands behind every word? This isn't the peak. This is the platform. You've been crowned not for comfort, but for calling. And heaven is watching how you wear it. Heaven is watching, and you were chosen. Chosen one. If you've made it this far, it's because your spirit already knew this message was for you. Not a coincidence, not a random video. This was a divine appointment. Every breath you've taken led here. Every tear, every prayer, every unanswered moment was being answered in this moment. You were seen, you were tested, and now you are trusted. Heaven watched you stay faithful in silence. Heaven saw what they missed, and heaven has now crowned what earth couldn't comprehend. Now that you know, heaven is watching. How will you walk? How will you speak? How will you carry the crown you didn't ask for, but were born to wear? Because this isn't just another video. This is your confirmation. This is your commissioning. You were hidden to be revealed. You were broken to be rebuilt. You were passed over to be crowned in the Spirit. You are not crazy. You are not weak. You are not forgotten. You are chosen. And heaven never stopped watching. Your obedience echoed in heaven. Your pain built an altar, and your faith has made room for the miraculous. The angels are rejoicing because you finally believe it too. If your spirit feels the confirmation, type 777 in the comments. Let heaven know you received it. Let others know they're not alone. Like this video if you feel your glow returning. Subscribe if you're ready to walk this path with other chosen ones. And share this with the one soul you know is still in their silent test. Because this might be their sign. You're not just seen, You're not just saved. You are sovereign, you are crowned, you were chosen,